Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Image Elevators with BJ Coleman. I'm very excited about today's guest. She is an entrepreneur, she's an influencer, she's a businesswoman, she's a fashionista. Many of you, I'm sure, know her digital platform, Fashion Bomb Daily. Please welcome to the show, the one and only Claire Sulmers.
Wow, thank you, BJ. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming and being here. How are you?
Oh my gosh, I just touched the mic. I'm so sorry.
It's quite all right. I don't think our engineer is gonna mind.
I'm amazing. And you know what? I have to say that this is a full circle moment for me because you don't know this, but baby fat was a huge part of the beginning of Fashion Bomb Daily. Like, I launched it in 2006.
I remember.
Yeah, and I remember, just idolizing Kimora, and I read Fabulosity. I used it as my blueprint for how to get into the fashion industry. And there was one chapter on like gate crashing because I was like, how do I get into these shows?
I helped Kimora with that book, so I know it very, very well.
Yeah. But my first post were like me crashing at Baby Fat and seeing you like doing your thing, working at the door. You were like, yeah, you come in. No, you stay over there, whatever. But, I just think it's so wonderful that we're here sitting together today.
Thank you. And I remember you interviewed me for Fashion Bomb Daily. And I even still use that press clip in my clippings. It's on my website. What's so funny about that show, about their story is, yes, we had to pick and choose about the baby fat entrance because it was crazy. But Kimora, and we, of course, obviously had pre-placements for editors and celebrities and buyers and things of that nature. But Kimora's strategy was don't turn anyone away.
Oh, really?
So everyone eventually could come in if we could seat you and find this place for you. But Kimora wanted the shows to feel very much like a cultural event. And knowing that, it was a hip hop brand and, Black fashionistas who may not be able to get in Marc Jacobs would still be clamoring to get into baby fat. She wanted to accommodate them. So as the PR director there, I had to make sure that, whatever PR agency we had hired, I instructed them, we don't really turn people away, just give them standing if they didn't have a seat or they weren't there. Kimora wanted everyone to be there.
I had no idea because I was like, I went to those shows so consistently. And mind you, I was working at a home magazine at the time. I had no business being there. I was a researcher, reporter, like no affiliation with fashion. Fashion Bomb Daily had just started. But I remember going in there with my digital camera, taking pictures. I think I was one of the first style bloggers at Fashion Week. So those pictures were picked up on YBF, Concrete Loop, Cake and Ice Cream. And that's really how we got a lot of eyeballs on us because of moments like the Baby Fat show.
So interesting. And that was such an interesting time in itself because there was no social media. And I remember I was constantly pitching YBF, Natasha at YBF, or Fred at Media Takeout because the blogs were the thing. It was, the blogs were kind of the pre-entry to where we are today.
Yeah, they were brand new and I was there with my digital camera, honey.
But then don't you think then you were setting yourself up? You say that you weren't in fashion, but really you were in fashion because you were setting up what you have today. I mean,
I was
unbeknownst to you, probably.
I had no idea. I mean, I wasn't forcing my way in. I guess I was finagling my way in, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea that Fashion Bomb would become what it is today. I was blogging so that I could get a job at Vogue or Harper's Bazaar or at a fashion magazine. Like this was before Instagram, before Twitter, Twitch, Snapchat, before influencers, before that word probably even existed. Like we could not have ever, I'll say I could have never imagined what it could have become. Like my goal was to work for a fashion magazine, be like the next Andre Leon Talley or Anna Wintour, hopefully. But I just was doing what I loved and going with my gut and saying no to fear and taking that sip of champagne and just going for it and hoping for the best. But I think that's so funny that everybody got in because I just thought I was really lucky.
No,
But,
well, you were. I mean, definitely were, because I mean, some people got in, and where are they today? You know, they were just there for the moment, or to rub elbows with a Britney Spears or a Mary J. Blige or whoever was sitting front row. But here you are. You took those moments and made a career out of it. And I think that's so funny that you acknowledge that, because I mean, so much of my early career, and I think that's something that a lot of people don't even talk about, is, and I know Kimora points this out in her book Fabulosity, is you have to fake it till you make it. And you have to finagle your way in. Like, I used to stand in line at Bungalow 8. I used to, you know, I did whatever I needed to do to be in the right rooms, to be at the right places, because you're not given, if you're not born with the access to that, or if you don't graduate from a school that puts you into those rooms and those situations, you have to create those moments for yourself so that you can bump into the next person who's going to, you know, I always say today's secretary is tomorrow's CEO.
Right.
And you have to, and that's how I started as an intern, turned assistant, turned coordinator, you know. And so you have to use those early moments in your career to get in where you can fit in.
Yeah.
And fake it till you make it.
Yeah. And I think fortune favors the bold a lot of times. Like, I could have been like, oh my gosh, they're going to turn me away. But I was doing that, not all over town, but for the shows that were meaningful to me, like a Tracy Reese. There were certain shows during Fashion Week, there weren't that many. And I really did focus on Black fashion designers because that's my passion. I'm a Black woman. I noticed that there weren't a lot of Black fashion designers showing during Fashion Week. Of course, we know the whole discussion of no Black models on the runway. I mean, up till like 2020, people are still like, oh yeah, there are Black people who like fashion and we should probably be acknowledging them. But yeah, I just stepped out on faith and said no to fear. And here I am.
Yeah.
Almost 20 years later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know, you said you wanted to just have a job in a fashion magazine. How did then, you know, and people may or may not know this, but I know you went to Harvard.
I sure did.
And you're coming from, before you were at Harvard, you grew up where?
I grew up in Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Okay.
So I was born in Brooklyn to two Caribbean parents. My dad was from Haiti. My mom is from Nassau, Bahamas. First generation.
Best conch fritters in Nassau, Bahamas, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah. I love some good conch.
Me too.
I didn't know conch was only in the Bahamas, but anyway.
Yeah.
I love
That's the only place you can get it. And you might be lucky at the Miami airport.
Yeah, if you find somebody bringing it over. But yeah, and then at age 9, my family moved down to Atlanta, Georgia. My dad, he was a pilot for Eastern Airlines at the time, later on for United Airlines. And so we moved down there because New York was really hot at the time. It was just like really dangerous. And so she moved us down there to be closer to our dad. And also I think for educational opportunities. My mom is a retired school teacher. To this day, this woman is giving me books to read and things to watch and like quizzing me on them. But moved down to Atlanta, went to this private Westminster Schools of Atlanta, which is I think one of the best private schools in the Southeast. And then went on to Harvard. Both my brother and I went to Harvard. And it was actually my brother who encouraged me to go. I didn't want to go to Harvard.
I was going to ask, did your parents encourage that? Or how
No.
Did you? But you must have been
crazy, though.
You must have been a good high school student to be able to get into Harvard. Did you go to private school?
Yeah, I went to private school. Yeah. So the school helped and like doing well at school. And, you know, but I used to do my homework watching The Simpsons, you know, and I still do that now when I blog or write. I'm listening to Judge Judy or Judge Mathis or something just to kind of help, you know, it's like a little bit of candy with the medicine.
Yeah, I agree.
But no, my parents were into school, obviously, and they nurtured, and my mother specifically nurtured an environment where we were reading when we were 3, and my mother has all these books and I'm reading books all the time. So I think she did it in a soft way, but it was really my brother who should get all the credit, because I remember when I would get a bad grade, I'd be like, whatever, I don't care. And he would be like crying. And he was the one who encouraged me to apply to Harvard because he went, and I wanted to go to Columbia or somewhere in New York. I just wanted to be in New York, and I visited him one weekend and I loved it. And he was like, yeah, just apply. And he kind of guided me along the whole process. And to my surprise, I got in.
You weren't thinking you were going to get in?
No.
Did you have a second choice?
Columbia. Columbia is where I wanted to go.
All Ivy League, you plan to go to Ivy League?
Yeah. Because I'm always somebody who's just a workaholic.
And what was your major?
French and African American studies.
And so then how then did that lead you to New York? And then what was the impetus? Because my original question was, I wanted to get in there that you were going to Harvard, but my original question was going to is, how did you come up with the idea of doing Fashion Bomb Daily? Did it start in college or high school? And where did your love for fashion come from?
I always loved to shop, always been in the mall, always loved to write. So that was my love of fashion. I never knew that I could have a career in fashion and didn't even think about it. My true love was writing. And so in my African American studies classes, I learned about portrayals of Black people in the media and how it, can be negative a lot of times. And I wanted to be one of those people behind the scenes who offered a balanced point of view. So I really wanted to work in TV. When I graduated, I didn't have enough experience to get a job in New York at like ABC or NBC. So I ended up moving back home to Atlanta for about a year and was just looking around. I saw Upscale magazine. That's the first place I got an internship. I interviewed there, thought I wanted to write politics or something serious, and they had an opening in the fashion department. And I really soared in the fashion department.
Were you working under anybody in particular, or do you remember?
LaKanya Jenkins Dean.
LaKanya Dean.
You know LaKanya?
Of course. I come from fashion. I know all the fashion editors.
What a small world. But yeah, LaKanya, I was writing captions at first, then short stories. And she was like, you know what? You're really bright. You should do more. So by the end, I was writing cover stories. I was modeling in the magazine, doing all sorts of things. And they wanted to hire me. But all my friends were in New York, and I wanted to live in New York. So I did an internship after that. I looked up all the paid internships because I don't think a lot of people know, but media does not pay like at all. And I think most people who start off in media are probably like Nepo babies and, they just have a trust fund somewhere where they could take these really poorly paying jobs. But I looked up every internship that could pay. I found New York, Newsweek, and The Nation. They allowed you to apply after graduating, and you didn't have to get like college credit or anything. So I applied to all three, got all three, and just chose New York Magazine. I thought that would be cool to start with. My favorite magazine. Yeah.
I mean, it's so smart.
It is. It is. So I started with New York Magazine, and then I did Newsweek Magazine, was an intern there. Then I was a page at NBC for like 2 seconds, and then I got my full-time job at Real Simple.
And so where did the idea come from for Fashion Bomb Daily?
Okay, that was a few years later. So once you're in the journalism world, you have to choose like, what do you want to write? Politics, fashion, beauty. I decided I wanted to write fashion, but I could not find a job in the fashion department of my magazine. I was a researcher reporter. They used to have people back in the day. We're basically like pre-Chat GPT, I guess. People who fact check everything. We make sure every word is spelled correctly, every name is spelled correctly in the magazine, all the prices are correct. And that's kind of where I get like kind of the attention to detail that we have with a lot of our captions, with researching the names and the prices and things like that. But I decided I wanted to write fashion, could not find a way in. And so I started a blog as something that could showcase my talents.
And you called it Fashion Bomb Daily.
I called it Fashion Bomb. It was really originally the Fashion Bomb.
Right, it was.
And I could not find the URL. Somebody was, what do they call that? Cyber squatting. I actually have the URL now, but they were cyber squatting on thefashionbomb.com. And so I called it Fashion Bomb Daily.
Got it.
Because we update it every day.
Yeah. And when you started doing it, obviously you had no idea that it was going to be what it is. It started as a hobby.
It was a hobby.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would use it as a resume builder. Like I remember, so eventually I was working at this home magazine and Crashing Baby Fat Show, Sean John, et cetera, getting written up in Teen Vogue, written up in Women's Wear Daily. I was getting a lot of really great press for what I was doing. And it just became a point where it was a little uncomfortable to go to work every day and be like trying to hide these write-ups in different magazines from my boss, or even I was like conducting interviews and scanning magazine pages during my lunch break. And especially during Fashion Week, I was trying to steal away and just really feeling like my potential was being limited. And then there was a moment I was riding the train to work and somebody recognized me. They're like, hey, you can come sit down here. And I was like, oh my gosh, like people are starting to recognize me. This is getting uncomfortable. And so I decided to quit my job and I moved to Paris with the goal of working at a fashion magazine. And I eventually did. It took me a year and a half of being very poor before I got an internship at Paris Vogue.
And how was that?
Okay, well, it was interesting. I don't think I've ever been poorer or broker in my life. You know, what can I say about Paris Vogue? It was great. Honestly, I think it was a great for my resume, great for my French, great for humility. Because when I was at Real Simple, I had an office and I was like a full-time staff. And now I'm here like kind of the lowest on the totem pole as an intern. I didn't speak the language, so I was out in the streets doing street style, taking pictures of people, and I'd go up and be like, bonjour, je travaille pour Paris Vogue, or whatever, doing my little spiel. And most people would be like, what? This is before like the street peepers.
Yeah, it's not like it is today.
It's not like how it is today. People were like, what, do you want my picture?
This is what, 2005, 2006, 2007?
2000s. I can't even getting my dates mixed up, but I think I was in Paris between 2008 and 2010.
Got it.
Yeah, and so I got a lot of rejection, and you know, I didn't have a lot of money in the fashion industry, so I was like a little bit of a scrub.
Were you going to the Paris shows? Because the Paris shows are much different than the New York shows. They're so much more dramatic.
Yeah,
so much more everything.
That was a beautiful thing about being there, is that I was in town for all those things. I still had an issue with access, but this is also before Instagram.
Right.
So my whole thing was saying somebody's name. I heard people do it to me now, and I'm actually cool with it. But you know, being like, I'm so and so editor, and they can't go on Instagram or on their phone and look up and verify whether it's me or not, and they could tell like if I spoke English or spoke French with an American accent, they would just believe me. So I was in town for Jean-Paul Gaultier and who else did I go see? Dior, YSL. I was in town for everything. And now everybody's going for couture and menswear, but I was in town for that as well. And just kind of being in that environment really opened up my eyes to so much.
I agree. I mean, I don't think you know anything about fashion if you don't know the French and the Italian fashion scene. I mean, I think it's so important. I mean, I was lucky enough to go to Gaultier and Galliano with Brittany Murphy.
Oh, wow.
And obviously I work with Naomi Campbell, and I've seen her walk in Valentino. I mean, it's just such a different experience from the production to the PR element of it to the guest list. I mean, back then it was anyway more focused on, you know, buyers and all that stuff. Everything has changed now, but
they know how to put on a show.
They know how to put on a show.
I saw one of Alexander McQueen's shows as well in Paris. Just so many great memories. And I knew that I went to my first Chanel show. My first, so far I haven't been back again, but went to my first Chanel show with Karl Lagerfeld designing.
And his shows were just amazing.
Yeah, it was in the Grand Palais, I believe, and there was like a huge iceberg in the center. You know.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
So where do you see Fashion Bomb going? I mean, right now, Fashion Bomb Daily, for those that don't know, it's certainly a major force in the culture. It's certainly a major force when it comes to being relevant in today's fashion. Where do you see it going? Do you have a roadmap for it? Are you willing to share that? Obviously, like you said, it's become more than you thought it could be. I imagine it's your full-time job.
It has been my full-time job for the past 10 years.
For the past 10 years. So where do you see it going from here as as the world navigates this change in broadcast? People don't really have cable TV like they used to. That's changing, right? With streaming and fast channels. People aren't buying magazines anymore. I mean, I'm lucky when I go to the airport if there's a new New York magazine on the shelves. So, you know, blogs are a thing of the past, obviously, but you've been able to maintain the presence and the relevancy and the importance of your brand through this cultural revolution and evolution.
Yeah.
So where do you see it going? Do you intend to stay in this kind of digital space? And I know, and I've attended some of your real life activations. Where do you see the brand going?
That's a great question. We have a very robust 5 to 10 year plan. What I can share is a few things. But first, I can say that Instagram for us is still popping. Thankfully, Instagram is not completely passe. We have 7 million impressions on Instagram every month. Just recently, it was at 60 million for the Met, and now it's up to 70 million, I think, with that Jeff Bezos wedding. I don't really know. But anyway, I think we have a unique value proposition. We do something that people don't do and that still has a high demand, which is we tell you what your favorite celebrities are wearing and where you can buy it. Celebrities don't
And
tag.
how do you find those out?
My research background, and I know a lot of stylists. If it comes down to it, I'll ask the stylist. You know, we can't find everything, but we find most things. And I think it's just me tapping into my research.
Is that the meat and potatoes of your content?
Yeah. Yeah, just covering like every single moment of celebrity style and fashion, but then adding our unique value, which is us telling you who the designer is, showing you the look off the runway, or giving you a link to Bergdorf Goodman to buy it. But some of our new projects include our podcast. So, you know, everybody says podcast is oversaturated. Everything's oversaturated. But we all have our own unique DNA and our own unique way of storytelling. So we have our Fashion Bob podcast, Convos with Claire. And part of my goal with moving out here to LA is for us to create more original content, really tap into a lot of the celebrity contacts, whether they're stylists or celebrities that we have, in order to create more original programming, let's say. And then we're going to continue to expand our events. We had Convos with Claire, our networking events, for a long time. We stopped with the pandemic. Definitely going to bring that back. We have our Bomb Fashion Show, September 13th. Oh, yeah, you know all about the Bomb Fashion Show because Vivica hosted last year. But we're bringing it back. We have our Fabbies Awards, which is our award ceremony in February. But I still think that there is, thankfully, thank God, a space for Black fashion. And if you really think about it, correct me if I'm wrong, is there another Black fashion media outlet?
No, I mean, I think that you are it. And so that's what I wanted to ask you too is, you know, you said this yourself, but you didn't see yourself doing fashion. You didn't know if there was going to be space for you in fashion. How did you carve that niche out for yourself?
Bum rush my way in. No, I'm just kidding.
No, but I mean, if that's what you did, I mean, you know, sometimes you have to knock down doors, right?
You have to knock down doors. And, you know, I've heard no so many times. It used to really hurt. I used to be really sensitive to it, but now I don't seek validation from, you know, whether or not I get an invite to the Marc Jacobs show or not. But I do think that us being consistent and striving to maintain that excellence is what's going to keep our foothold in the fashion industry. And I've also been very lucky. I think we've all been very lucky in that things have changed and evolved so much, you know, with George Floyd and everyone being super woke, and Anna Wintour, who recently stepped down from Vogue, but her acknowledging that she has not always, you know, catered to or listened to diverse voices, and being like, okay, this is a problem. It's not just, is fashion racist, ? Yes, it is. So what are we going to do about that? And I do think the younger generation, they're more vocal, they're more demanding, they want to see themselves represented, and they won't take no for an answer.
Now, when you first started, we're limited on time, but when you first started...
Oh my gosh, where did the time go?
I know, when time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah.
But when you first came onto the scene, I remember there being this dreadhead,
oh yes,
young girl from Harvard, attending the shows, out and about, and I've watched your own personal style evolve through the years. What made you? Because I have to be honest, when I first met you with the blonde dreads, I was like, I don't know how this is going to. I have a problem with it. I love dreads. I love blondes. But I was just like, I wasn't sure if it was of the moment at that time.
Yeah.
Did you feel like it was?
Well,
and I'm not knocking you because I think you're very beautiful, obviously. I think your style is impeccable, obviously, but I just seen it evolve. And I was happy as it has, I think, what I want to say is I feel like not only has it evolved in the sense that it's changed, but I felt like I saw you go more from a girl who was working at a home or a lifestyle magazine, I've seen you become more of a real fashionista, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you say that, don't you think, would you say I'm wrong?
No,
So I don't want to be
you're
insulting you.
1,000% right.
Yeah.
I think the world has seen the evolution, you know, because I put myself out there, so they've seen it. I remember when I worked at Real Simple, one of my coworkers, she was like, "You dress like a lawyer." She was like, "A
Well, the
fancy
reason why I'm bringing it
lawyer."
up,
And
the
I
reason
was
why I'm
like-
bringing it up is because this show is all about personal image and personal brand. And I think it's been fascinating for me as someone who was kind of in fashion and seeing you enter the fashion world and see you behold it in such a glamorous and fabulous way.
Mhm.
And I think it has helped.
Yeah.
You know, because you are the face of your brand.
Mhm.
And I think that would the brand be as big as it is if you weren't as glamorous as you are today?
I don't think so. And
Yeah.
I think in our community, like, you know, I'm a journalist first and foremost.
Yeah.
And so the people I looked up to were Robin Gavon,
Love Robin.
Terry Agins,
Love Terry.
even in Anna Wintour, Kathy Horan. So if you look at them, look them up, guys. But if you look at them, these are not fashion plates. These are not stylists. They are journalists. But in our Instagram world, like the Black community will not be like, oh, she's a journalist who writes about fashion. I get it. No, you have to show up like Rihanna for them to take you seriously and be a journalist and do all these other things. So I think if I were to be the face of my brand, then it demands that I step it up and embody whatever vision that is.
Because like some bloggers of yesteryear, you are not sitting behind your computer at home.
No.
Hiding behind your content.
No.
Right. You're out on the scene. You're attending fashion shows. You're going to parties. You're producing your own events. So who you are as a personality has to align with what you're selling, don't you think?
Exactly. It's very important.
And when did you become aware of that?
When did I become aware of that? I think it's when I hired my first stylist. And they were the ones who suggested, because my hair, I used to have like short blonde locks.
Yeah.
And then they were the ones who suggested I go platinum and do lock extensions. So I did that, and that's probably when you remember me. And then I also listened to them. They were like, "Oh yeah, you should dye your hair red." And I tried, but it looked like yarn. So that's why I cut.
I remember all those stages because we did something with Bevy Smith, I think, for BET, and you were like maybe platinum blonde at that time.
Yeah.
I remember all your hair stages.
Thank you. But you know, I am a conservative. I'm like a prep, really, and I'm a lazy dresser kind of. I love a onesie, you know, or a dress or something like that, just easy. I'm kind of lazy in general when it comes to dressing. I know it probably doesn't seem that way. But I think my position has demanded that I take more time and make more effort, and I'm always a work in progress. I think I'm a sponge, and I'm a student. I'm always willing to learn what's necessary, whether it's a book or whether it's style, what's necessary for this position, and how do I elevate? I'm always looking to better myself. So how can I elevate in order to assume this position?
Right.
I was
gonna say that applies to everyone. I mean, I'd speak to young kids and I'll be like, "Oh, dress for the position you want." Like I remember when I was an intern, I never was wearing t-shirts and jeans. I never wanted to be an intern, but I tried my best to be stylish as I could with no money and no formal education in fashion. But even today, you have to dress like the position you want.
Exactly.
No matter where you are in life, you know. I think it's very, very important. What is the difference for you between style and fashion?
Well, we all know style is how you put it together. It doesn't matter the label. You could be wearing an Amazon top like me and a Hanifa skirt and a La Pointe jacket. You know, just shouting out my labels. You know what I mean?
I like it.
You could wear head to toe logos. I think fashion is more like the logos, designers, and style is you really kind of being creative and pulling from different eras and wearing vintage and wearing high-low in order to create a unique look that speaks to you.
Do you find it difficult being a woman, entrepreneur, business person? Is it difficult?
It is.
Mm-hmm.
And all the statistics are true. Like Black females having the most founded, least funded businesses. You know, I transitioned from being a journalist into being a boss and a businesswoman. And that involves learning the language of investments and learning the language of pitches and really studying all that stuff. And we don't get the same opportunities. We don't get the same access. I mean, it's so obvious. But I think the beautiful thing about our culture and our community is that we are resilient, we are resourceful, we make something out of nothing every single time. Like we are unstoppable. And I think that's part of our magic is that despite whatever adversity we encounter, we overcome. And so I embody that spirit. Maybe that's the Haitian in me, you know, the revolution in me, but I'm just like, I'm not gonna take no. And even if it takes me contributing that sweat equity, because a lot of it, that's what it is. You know, you see this, but you might not see me in my thick glasses and my pajamas working at 3 a.m, but that is a part of it. So just me always being willing to do the work, sometimes overwork, work on holidays, work on weekends. Like this is real, but this is how we are able to maintain and also thrive.
How would you describe your own personal style?
Classy ratchet. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Not classy ratchet, not at all. Let me see. I am a prep at heart. I'm a preppy girl, but fashion has pushed me outside of my comfort zone. I take risks. I took a risk at the BET Awards. I did not read any comments for the BET Awards, by the way, but that was a risk, okay? Swanky Jerry dressed me for the Met Gala.
Okay, I love him, by the way. I met him in Miami for the first time. He's hilarious and he's great.
Swanky Jerry flew in the night before the Met Gala. And let me tell you, when I found out I was going to the Met Gala, I had 10 days to get it together. I asked every stylist you could think of, every designer you could think of. Everybody was overworked or burdened down, like I was not getting anywhere. I hit up Swanky Jerry. He got a custom suit made for me in 10 days. Mind you, there were some stylists who were like, yeah, I reached out to a designer in Atlanta. He doesn't have enough time. Swanky Jerry flew in from Nigeria. Got this look custom made for me, 3-piece suit with the cape in red with all the, you know, accoutrement.
Right.
Flew 14 hours on a plane. He took magnesium while he was on the plane. So when he woke up, he was, you know, bouncy. Cause I was like, are you sure you can come? He came the night before the Met at like 10 p.m.
Wow. Delivered
this look for me and it fit perfectly.
I've been to the Met. I think I went to the Met in like 2004. Before it was as big as it is today, obviously. But I remember it was everything. I remember seeing Lenny Kravitz and this person and that person. Did you enjoy it?
I loved it.
You loved it. Did it live up to what you thought it was going to be?
I mean, it had its ups and downs. You know, my mic wasn't working. We couldn't figure out how to get my mic to work. But I met a guy next to me. I call him my angel, but he had an extra mic. He let me use his mic. It was raining, et cetera, but it was beautiful. Yeah. And it was really a crowning moment for me. Like I rank that as me getting into Harvard, me getting an internship at Paris Vogue. It's one of those moments because to think I started off crashing shows and now I'm on the carpet at the Met.
Have you met Kimura? I mean, I'm sure you've met her, but have you seen her?
Let me tell you, BJ, I saw Kimura. First of all, I have her number in my phone. This blows my mind. But I saw her the other day at San Vicente Bungalows and we were just chit-chatting and it literally, in my mind, I'm still that young girl who idolized her so much. So it trips me out that we have like casual conversations.
That's so funny. Who is the most? Is she like your favorite person that you've met, or is there someone else?
I'm trying to think. Rihanna is great.
Rihanna's amazing.
Rihanna consistently tops our best dress list every single year.
But personality-wise, too, she's just the best.
And she told me she watched all my videos.
I believe that. She's very, she has her pulse on the zeitgeist. She knows what's happening.
Yeah, she's like, you're very clever. I was like, oh my God, Rihanna. So many. But I think Kimura, Rihanna, who else have I met that's just blown my mind? Yeah, I think that's good.
Do you have a favorite designer?
I love Alaya, even though he's passed away, but I love what Peter Mueller is doing at Alaya.
Mm-hmm.
I love Olivier Rousteing from Balmain. I kind of am leaning towards...
Have you met him?
Yes, I've met him a few times.
And what's he like?
Amazing. I always want him to remember me, but he'll remember me one day. I want to interview him. But I really kind of lean towards the Parisian designers of color. And then Lapointe. I was reading Proverbs 8 today. I read the Bible. I try to read the Bible every day. I don't, but let's say every other day. And it's like, I love those who love me, and those who seek me find me. And that's how it is for me too. Like, if you love me, I love you too. So I love Lapointe, and she loves me. They're one of the brands that loaned me clothes. And Hanifa, I love Hanifa. I love Laquan, Romeo Hunt. There's so many Black designers stateside as well who I love. Sergio Hudson, which I think a lot of people would say, yeah.
And what advice would you give to young female entrepreneurs trying to enter specifically the digital space? Because it is a forever changing landscape. You seem to enter it so seamlessly well.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for young entrepreneurs, particularly female entrepreneurs, trying to get into the space, trying to become an influencer? Yeah. What does it take, and what do they need to be doing?
I interviewed Cynthia Bailey the other day about her advice on being a model. And she said she treats it like a job. So I would say do the same as a digital influencer. Treat it like a job. Like, update every single day. On Fashion Bomb Daily, we update every day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., sometimes after, depending on the red carpet or what's going on that night. But trademark your company, get an accountant and a lawyer, pay your taxes, make sure you have your URL, make sure your name is consistent across all platforms. Take yourself seriously from the get-go. I think that's something that I didn't do. Hindsight's 2020, everything works out, people end up finding me, but just take yourself seriously and bet on your success. I just never imagined that my life would be this way. And it's because I think I always believed in myself, but maybe not like what it could become. So yeah, take yourself seriously from the jump and treat it like a business. And make sure everything you put out is as excellent as it can be, but also don't be caught up in perfection. It's okay if it's a little messy. It's okay if it's fucked up.
Tell that to a Virgo. I'm a Virgo, and that's just so hard to not be caught up in perfection. But I think the key, my takeaway is, from what you just said, is to believe in yourself. I think so many people don't know how to believe in themselves, or think they believe in themselves, and it's a misconception. But I think that's very, very key, is to really believe it and know that you can do it.
Yeah, and a very, very, very important thing: don't give up.
And don't give up.
Keep going.
Right.
Because a lot of
people give up so quickly.
They do.
At 29. You'll think, oh, I'm 29, I got to get my money together. Or I'm 35, I don't have enough time, I got to have a baby and family or whatever. And then you give up on whatever your dream or your passion is, but don't give up.
Yeah, and people see you. Like, maybe they can't help you out right now, or maybe they're just observing, but people watch your hustle and they admire it. And it'll be like, oh yeah, like even... Tiana Taylor, I remember I saw her at the Baby Fat Show. Monica saw her at the Baby Fat Show, and we're still here doing it many years later. So if there's an ask that I have or something that we can do together, they say yes, because they know that I'm serious and dedicated about it, just as they are to their craft. So I think there's a lot of respect that comes out of being consistent and as excellent as you can be. And sometimes it's just a matter of who's the last person standing. And that's one thing that I never do, which might have people frustrated, but I never give up. And I'm not going to give up until I reach that goal. Now, when I reach that goal, I'll create a new goal.
Right. I agree. Because there's always a mountain to climb, and there's always something to want, and there's always something to do.
Because next time I want to attend the Met Gala. Okay, I got on the red carpet. I was interviewing people. Dwayne Wade liked my outfit, But next year, let's go inside, see what that's like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Claire.
Thank you.
It was so lovely speaking with you.
You too. Did I babble too much?
No, you were awesome. Really quickly, what is this on your teeth?
tooth gems.
Mm.
And you know, they all, like, most of them fell out.
And they can come out anytime.
They just fall out.
I love grills.
Me too.
Yeah, I want
I'm
some.
from Atlanta, so it's like, I said classy ratchet, I was kidding, because my mom came from the Bahamas, so she's like, I think there's like a little conservatism there, like British conservatism, and she never let me like really kind of wear short stuff or sheer stuff. Like she I'm sure she'd be horrified by a lot of the fashion that she sees. But I still like a little like Atlanta swagger, like a
As
little.
You should. Yeah.
It's a little.
I mean, I don't think you can be stylish without having some kind of homage to your roots.
Yeah.
You know? But thank you for coming by. I really appreciate you. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you check out Fashion Bomb Daily every day. You can go on to Instagram and check out their fashion tips, their fashion advice, and you can stay and listen to Image Elevators with BJ Coleman podcast everywhere you get your podcasts, or on the Alive Network. But thank you, Claire. I appreciate you. It's a pleasure as always. You're a delight. Yes.
Thank you.
Come on, Nels. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.